Mm-hmm. Press the go live button right there. I'm really baffled by this. What, Dr. Ron?
What's up, Autumn?
We have got to put Ash on it because he just flew up and I just cleaned up.
Seriously.
Okay.
You're stressing me out, girl.
Oscar and Sparrow are upstairs. You can hang out with them if you want. But, Autumn, you can't be, like, loud or crazy, okay? Hey guys, how you doing? Time for another Fallout Hobbies live stream. This week, I hope everyone is down to clown.
That was so bad. So bad.
I've been wanting to say that all day. As always, Jules is here.
Hey guys, what's up?
We are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment area and we will be monitoring throughout the feed and answering questions as best we can and whatnot. So, today I am going to be doing some Harlequins and working with the Jester stencils. Primarily, I'm going to be using both sides, the large size and the infantry size. This model right here, right off to the side here, this guy, I painted probably about like 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Actually, probably more like 5 years ago. And this model has been through a lot of different conventions and is pretty beat up. It wasn't even finished in the first place. I never even finished it. I just kind of got the pattern on it and called it a day. A little tip of it's broken off right there. But this was an early example of how to do Jester Diamonds with the Jester Diamond airbrush stencil that we have. It's one of our most popular stencils. We literally sell a dozen of them a day. So I figured, I don't know, I'm kind of getting back into Harlequins right now. I'm getting into Eldar in general right now, but I'm doing some Harlequin. So I figured I'll break out the stencil and do some new vehicles with the diamond stencil. So I'm going to move this guy off to the side. I have 2 Sky Weavers and I have a Star Weaver here that I'm going to be applying the stencils to and getting a cool purple to blue kind of pattern happening. Before I even paint anything, I prep the models real quick. I primed them black with Army Painter Black, and I sprayed some Incubi Darkness on the back of them, and I sprayed some Vallejo Imperial Blue on the front of them, which is a very purple-blue color. That's just the base color. That's just what I'm going to start with right there, and I'm going to work up from that. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do, I want to have kind of a two-tone diamond effect. And I want to have a two-tone diamond effect on the vehicles, and I want it to be kind of purplish in the front and bluish in the back. So I'm going to start by taking the largest size diamond pattern. And I'm going to be putting it on the fronts of the vehicles. Is that the largest size? Yeah, that's the largest size diamond pattern. I'm going to be putting that on the fronts of the vehicles and creating a very subtle kind of like purple, dark purple checker pattern on the fronts. And then I'm going to do a second layer of diamond pattern with an even brighter purple. But I want to start by layering this first. So, something just got stuck to me. It's a very hot day out here. Even with the air conditioning on, it's muggy. So we're kind of dying from that.
It's like you're swimming, but you're not.
It is like swimming. So I'm going to start by trying to align this pattern as best I can centered. There we go. I'm just kind of following some of the panel lines in the model kit to eyeball it here. Okay, there we go. Now, I have seen some videos from other people being like, oh, I hate self-adhesive airbrush stencils. They're so hard to work with. The pattern that I'm doing here, you can't do it unless you use a self-adhesive airbrush stencil. Because if you do it with a rigid stencil, it's going to look like garbage, basically. So, to anyone who says that, I say, shame on you for not knowing your tools.
Well, the thing about the self-adhesive ones is they kind of wrap around like the curved areas like you're showing now, so that makes it really nice.
Well, exactly. Eldar vehicles, yes, exactly, Jules. Eldar vehicles are very curved and have compound curves, and when you're trying to apply a stencil pattern like this with a rigid stencil, you're not going to be able to get it synced up. There's going to be underspray and all that crap. You know what I mean? So, if you take your time to apply it perfectly, you will get a perfect result. Okay, let me get the other one here. All right, so this one I'm using on these guys, just for the sake of speeding up the video, I'm going to cut this stencil like in half right down the middle. I know, sacrilege, but I want to kind of speed up production here of these things. So I've cut the bigger panel down into little ones. And again, I'm going to just do my best to align it as center as I can over the hull. There we go. Now this is going to be the first layer of purple diamond that's getting done here. This is going to be kind of a multi-step process to get all these done, but it's going to look really good when it's done, trust me. And then one more for this guy. I'm using these little cups to kind of hold the models up, to kind of keep them above the painting area. These are just like little condiment cups. I like them for stuff like this. Sorry if that was off camera. I really wanted to get it close to my face so I could make sure I'm doing it right. There we go. All right, first layer applied. So what I'm doing here is I want to do like a fade. I want to do a gradient on the diamond pattern. So I have the stencil applied. It's very nicely adhered to the surface. I'm going to mix up a purple. So the base color that I sprayed that with was Imperial Blue. So I'm going to mix up a color that's kind of halfway between Imperial Blue and Warlord Purple, and just spray just kind of the front and easing it up along the hulls here. So it's not an even spray, so it's a nice gradient buildup.
Yeah, everyone does love a condiment.
Someone commenting about the condiments.
Yeah.
That's the one I was using. Imperial Blue. So I'm just mixing a 50-50 of Imperial Blue and Warlord Purple. I'm not trying to get this layer of Jester Diamonds too high contrast because that's going to be for the next layer. I'm trying to build up the layers more subtly, whatever. Subtle. You know what I'm saying. Need a little bit more Warlord Purple. There we go. That looks good to me. That is very purple. This is going to require probably like 2 passes because it's a very dark color on an already dark color. But I'm not trying to have the paint bleed under the airbrush stencil. So it's going to require probably like 2 passes. With a little bit of dry time in between. Like right now, I'm going to let this dry for a minute before I hit it with the next pass so there's not any leakage under there. Thank God for iced coffee. All right, that's probably good. Let me see if there's any areas that I missed. Maybe a little bit more on that canopy right there would be good. Light spray there. All right, at this point, leave alone for a little bit. Let me clean my brush out while that's happening. Any questions so far?
Yeah, Joe just asked, what millimeter needle are you using for the airbrush, and what PSI are you compressing at?
Around 75, and I don't know the millimeter of the needle. It's the finest tip that I can get on my Sotar 2020. I don't know what the millimeter is offhand, though. It's small. It's the fine detail tip on the Badger Sotar 2020. Alright, brush is cleaned. Let's let that purple dry for a little bit. It's still very wet looking. Just put the brush over here for a minute till that's done.
Over on YouTube, Dave is saying that cool, he thinks he bought some of these Jester Diamonds from you, but he hasn't gotten around to painting his Harlequins yet. Bought loads of other stuff too. Interesting that you've crumpled up the diamonds. They're not crumpled, they're kind of curved around.
They're not crumpled, yeah, they're just stuck to the surface, and the surface of the vehicle is rounded. As soon as I take the stencil off, it'll flatten out again. It's not crumpled. It's just stuck to it. All right, let's see if this is good enough to peel over here. Okay, so again, I've said this many times before in videos. Be careful when you peel the stencils. You know, don't like rip them off. Don't use extreme force. It's not like tearing a band-aid off of a hairy arm. Just do it slowly. Do it slowly. And you'll get the best results. Okay. So, as you can see, it's a very subtle pattern. That's exactly what I was going for, though. I wanted subtlety on the underlayer because I'm going to be building up another layer of brighter colors over top of it. So that's good. That is good. Ah, shit. See, I didn't follow my own advice. I got a little bit too aggressive with it and that popped off. It's okay, still usable. Still plenty usable. There we go, that's a nice subtle pattern again on that. You know, I kind of jumped the gun on cleaning the airbrush because I just realized I wanted to do a gradient to the front here. So I'm going to mix up a similar purple color to what the diamonds are and just the very front tip of these three vehicles I'm going to spray with that color. Just the very front. Because what I'm doing is I'm building up colors and then there's going to be a brighter purple overlay on it. Sorry, this fell off to the side there. Go. Now I'm going to make it a hair brighter and make the gradient a little tighter. Question? Is there a question that came through?
Oh, no. I was replying to Dave on YouTube. I already answered
Oh,
it.
I thought you
But we
left it in
did
your
have
hand,
someone over there like added a comment like after we were live. So to answer, we do ship everywhere around the world internationally. There are a couple places that we are not shipping to, and it's listed on our website. And that's mostly because of USPS and COVID right now.
Yeah. But generally speaking, we do ship pretty much everywhere unless you're like in Papua New Guinea.
Or Chile.
Or, yeah, Chile sucks right now, unfortunately. Their infrastructure wasn't able to handle postal delays, so USPS is posted a thing saying packages to Chile are probably going to get lost. And then, lo and behold, we had a bunch of packages to Chile get lost. So,
That's awesome, Dave. Dave over on YouTube says, yeah, I've reached him in Spain, so good stuff. That's awesome.
this one paint is clogged. You know what? I need to let these tips just chill for a minute before I hit it with the next color. Just put these outside for a second. It's so freaking hot, they dry in like 2 seconds. Actually, you know what? That's really not a bad idea. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to go speed up the drying on these real quick.
It will literally only take a second. It's kind of like you could probably fry an egg right now. It's that hot out. So Joe is saying that he was using the time while you were out there drying those to contemplate what condiments were in those pots.
None. But if I would say anything, I would say blue cheese.
And Ken says he's going to try and guess mustard. Mike, we're actually located just outside of Scranton in Pennsylvania. Like, you know, the office.
Yeah, where the office is supposed to take place.
And Dave over on YouTube says that he bought the checker stencils and they worked out on his orc vehicles like magic from watching the video.
Awesome.
He's asking, he said one thing he noticed that's missing from the general market is tiny checkered stencils for orc infantry.
Yeah, that's very hard to cut, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have those in decal form, because we sell tiny, like much tinier checker patterns and decals. But as far as airbrush stencils, I mean, that's like ridiculously small to cut.
And back on Facebook, we're still debating the condiments. Joe is saying sweet chili, and Ken says perhaps some salad dressing.
Some Ken's salad dressing.
Oh, that was bad.
Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry. Sorry, Ken.
What-
I've been so punny lately, it's not even funny.
Gosh.
Oh gosh, I know, just stop. So it's amazing how fast these dried in the sun. I think I was literally outside for a minute and I could watch the paint just like dry in front of my face in that like 1 minute that I was outside. That's how freaking hot it is right now. A little bit insane. Alright, so back to it. What I am doing now is I'm creating kind of like the base of where the next diamond pattern color will be applied. So I just mixed up more Warlord purple with a little bit of Imperial blue, which was the base color for these. And I just sprayed it, right on the tips right here. I'm going to be using the next smaller size diamond pattern once these dry and doing pure Warlord purple over them to get the front tip diamonds. And then I'm going to be switching around and doing something similar on the backs of these, but in blue, not purple.
Can you say that 10 times fast?
Mm-mm.
Warlord purple.
Warlord purple. It just, I don't know why. I can't say it right. It's a tongue twister. Warlord purple. Alright, let me clean out this airbrush and prepare for the next layer of stencils. Warlord purple. God damn it. I've been doing this thing, guys, lately where I've been trying to recollect everything that I lost a few years ago when my previous marriage kind of fell apart. And one of the things that I lost was my whole massive Dark Eldar collection, as well as some Harlequins and some Craft World Eldar. And I lost those because I had to pay a lot of fees and rent and child support and all those things. So I needed money, and I sold them. But now I'm in a much better situation, and I can start to recoup what I lost. So that's part of the reason that I've been so on an Eldar kick lately.
Isn't it amazing? Like, the only thing I think I really miss is some of the records I used to have,
You don't miss the husband, just the records.
Joe says, great color choice and some of the most beautiful vehicles in 40K.
I love the Eldar vehicles. I just love the way they're designed, especially since they, when they redid the Dark Eldar line about 10 years ago, they were super elegant, and then they did the Harlequin shortly afterwards, and they've only done a few new Craft World vehicles here and there, but I'm really looking forward to like a complete revamp of the Craft World line. That would be amazing. Alright, this airbrush is clean. Alright, we still got a little bit of moisture on there that I want to dry up before I apply the next stencil.
Username RatMoko1 on YouTube
Oh,
says...
Adam Ratmoko. That's my friend Adam from Philly.
Oh, hey Adam, what's up? He goes, wait, you lost the Dark Eldar? I remember good times painting those with you in the NL house.
Northern Liberties.
Oh.
The Northern Liberties house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had to sell the Dark Eldar army when I moved back to Philly because I needed money to pay for rent and child support and alimony and all that stuff. That was a few years ago.
Did you tell Adam we're getting hitched?
No, I didn't tell Adam that we're getting hitched yet. I haven't talked to Adam in a few weeks. So Adam's finding out via video right now that Jules and I are getting married soon. Sorry, man. I'll give you a call sometime soon. Been a little crazy if you can't tell. You know what? Just because these two sky weavers are being so stubborn with drying, I'm going to have to take these out in the sun again. These two, there's two moisture spots right here that I really need to dry up before I can put the next stencil on them. All right. Sorry about that, guys, but the sun is so hot I just dried up the paint instantly, which is exactly what I need because I don't want the stencils to get messed up. Not the stencils, I mean the pattern. I don't want the pattern to get messed up. Okay, so I am going to take the next smallest diamond pattern, and I'm going to try to apply that as evenly as I can. Right down the center. I'm aligning it with this middle nub right here. Okay.
Huh. Adam says, no worries. I sold all my orcs, and congrats. Dave on YouTube also says, cool, congratulations. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Well, I think Adam started rebuilding some orcs when quarantine started.
And Joe over on Facebook also says congrats, and so does Mike. And says that we don't get any kind of sun in the UK, so a lot of hair dryers get used.
Yeah, right now, I'm sorry. We actually have too much sun right now. It is a...
Be careful using those blow dryers, though, I would say.
Yeah, you don't want to, I mean, with doing the stencil work, you probably don't want to apply the blow dryer directly to the stencil per se. Because it might cause the plastic of the stencil to curl. Again, for the sake of expediency, I did cut the stencil just now just so I could apply it to both these sky weavers at the same time. Okay. Just like last time, you know, I am applying it and adhering it to the surface, wrapping it around the compound curve there. Here's the other one. Here's the other one.
Joe says great advice. The blow dryer.
Oh, yeah. especially in the wintertime.
Dave says on YouTube that he actually bought 2 bottles of stencil glue to prolong the stickiness of the stencils. He hasn't used it yet, but hopes it works out.
Never heard of it, but if it works, awesome. I don't know what that is. It's probably some kind of lightweight studio tack. Okay, I think these are all adhered. So I'm going to use pure Warlord purple. I don't know why I'm being tongue twisted by that one so bad today. And I'm just going to spray just the front tips of these with that. Pure Warlord purple. A little bit of airbrush thinner because this Vallejo air color is a little old, so kind of thickened up on me a bit. There we go. That's a nice consistency.
Joe says, gotta go. Keep up the good work. Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks, Joe. Get a good spray here. What is something's clogging this? There we go.
Dave said this is going to look so cool. You can't do it freehand unless you are a patient master painter.
Yeah, doing diamonds freehand sucks. That's probably why this is one of the most popular stencils that I have. Same with the hexagon pattern. The hex mesh pattern. I sell that one multiple times a day too. Alright, I'm going to let this layer dry for a minute, then I'm going to hit it again because I really want to make sure that the purple is vivid on it. Just letting it dry for a minute before I hit it again one more time. Maybe 2 more times. I really want the purple to be vivid.
Your friend Adam says he's got a box, a pile of shame in the corner that he needs to build. He hates building.
Pile of shame.
You
Don't we all?
You don't want to see my work table.
Jules has a pile of shame too. That's alright. I have like a start. I have a Space Marine army here that started, a Nurgle army that started, Dark Eldar, some Warcry figures, a couple demons.
Maury
Boba Fett.
Burgess says, yeah, oh man, he's about to order that, the diamond stencil there. Yeah, man, I'll send you a link here. 1 second.
Something's clogging the airbrush right now, and I'm not sure what it is. Clear this out.
I'll actually send you, we also have Infantry Jester and Retro Jester too, so I'll send you all the Jesters.
All the Jesters. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to do a little trick right now.
Michael Austin is just checking in with us on YouTube and says, "What colors are you using?" And Dave says, "Dude, just try and assemble the arms of a new Blood Bowl High Elf can easily turn into a mess."
Yeah. Oh, we are using Warlord Purple, Vallejo Warlord Purple right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a little bit of trick because I want this Warlord Purple to be very vivid. So I'm going to spray a layer right in the front that's Warlord Purple mixed with white. So it's kind of pinkish. But that's just for opacity. And then I'm going to switch back to regular Warlord Purple. Make sure this brush is as clean as it can be. There we go. This will look pinkish for a little bit, but then it's going to go back to purplish.
Adam says he's definitely going to be hitting us up for some custom Space Marine transfers if he can score one of the Itemitis sets. Yeah, we're getting a lot quicker with getting those out. I'm doing like 50% of the custom designs now too, so.
Yeah, Jules has been helping a lot with that stuff. Production's been really amping up. Our sales have been going up a lot, so we're trying to just make sure everything's copacetic. Alright, so this looks pink. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be pink. I'm going to be hitting it back with the purple. I just really wanted to pump up the saturation there on it.
Mike on Facebook says, "Thanks for doing these videos." He's been on the fence about how to use stencils for a while. Yeah, we do them every week. We've been getting more regular about it. We're trying to stick to Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern going forward, so.
Yeah, Thursdays is going to be the regular video day. I try to do something different each week. The past couple weeks have been Eldar. I was doing Space Marines for a few weeks. I'm probably going to keep doing Eldar for a few more weeks. I might do like some Hex Mesh on some Necron Carapaces in the near future. A lot of this stuff that I'm painting is demo models that I use for social media. And when conventions start again, it'll be the same ones that I take to conventions. But that's not going to be happening for at least a year. Definitely. There we go. That's a nice purple. Let's see how these look. There it is. All right. Cool. I'm going to let this dry for a minute or two before I start peeling the stencils. And then I got one more layer I'm going to spray on top of it. Because what I really like to do to blend in a lot of the stencil work is I like to spray a wash over top of everything. So once this is all done drying, I am going to spray a very light wash of Magos Purple over top of it to kind of help blend in the diamond patterns a little bit more. Blend the colors, I mean. I do it a lot for skin tones and things like that. Spray a little bit of wash into the shadows. It helps add like an extra layer of depth to them. And just for the sake of expediency, bear with me again. It's time to put these guys in the sun because I want to make sure that this Warlord purple color is thoroughly dry before I peel the stencil.
Otherwise, you get drippage.
I don't want any drippage or leakage or anything like that.
It's not pretty.
I did notice when I was out in the sun a little bit of beading forming up from the Warlord Purple. I think that there might have been a little bit too much water in there and not enough thinner, but that is easy to fix. So I'm just literally putting a little bit of Warlord Purple on the palette over here, and I'm just gonna take a dry brush and just kind of dab it in the front here. Ah, yeah. So that white layer wasn't fully dry on this guy. And what happened was it caused a little bit of beading. Easy to fix.
Brian on Facebook says, well, I know what I'm getting next. Yeah, I couldn't imagine really painting diamonds or checkers or hex mesh or anything like that any other way. My hand's just not steady enough.
This one area got a little bit messed up right here. Just bear with me. The other ones are good. I'm going to peel the stencils on the other ones. And then I'm going to fix that one by hand a little bit. And that was my fault for the paint being a little bit too thick right there when I airbrushed it. Well, that one looks dope. Let's see how the Star Weaver came out.
Dave on YouTube's asking, which wash did you apply it?
I didn't apply the wash yet. That's going to be happening in just a minute or two.
He said, are you going to use Drukai Violet?
Magos Purple, it's a contrast color, but it is pretty much the same purple as the Drukai Violet.
And he also says, yeah, it's not just painting diamonds and checkers, it's the fact that some of them are on that curved surface, so that makes it hard.
Yes, it does.
Mike says he's done it the other way. Now he's terrified to work on his Harlequins. Aw.
So these two came out perfect. There's a little bit of, the one's a little bit messed up over here. So I'm going to fix this one manually by hand for a minute. Just bear with me for 1 minute while I fix this up.
I'm
And
also going to link to the Warlord Purple that you're using too, since we've had a couple questions with it.
mhm. So this happens sometimes. I made the paint way too saturated in the white area here, but I can fix that. You see, even though I make these stencils, I am not infallible. There we go. It's better. Okay. And then in a minute, I'll fix the pink in there. This is actually a good opportunity to paint this little, like, weird recess area, though. I don't know, this notch that's in the front. I want to give it a clean border right here. There's a tad bit of overspray right in this one spot there. Right where the gemstones were. Just easy to fix like that. Okay. Let me see how this guy's doing over here. All in all, though, this is a pretty massive time saver because I've been able to get this far with the Harlequins in less than an hour of painting. So I gotta say that's pretty good. And I just dropped it. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. That's drying in the front right there. That only took a minute just to touch up the inside of that diamond a little bit. Now I'm going to do a little blending on that pattern. I'm going to use some Magos Purple. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of black, just pure black, to add some kind of like shading in like this area, like where this like crack area is, recessed area rather. I'm going to use a little bit of black there. And then I'm probably going to use a little bit of pure black, just kind of like towards the back of these shields here. And then I'm going to spray Magos Purple, not in the very front, but kind of like up to here, just to kind of blend in from there to there a little bit more. Add one more layer. So let me start with the black. Not a lot, and I'm keeping it on the fine tip too. Just a little bit of black back here. There. Move these guys out of the way.
Brian says on Facebook that him and his girlfriend were trying to do the diamond stencil for her Drukari Venom with Citadel Chaos Black as base and Troll Slayer Orange for the shapes. Oh, I wish that was looking pretty dope. I like the colors.
Yeah, that would be vivid. Probably have to apply a primer coat though, because I don't think that orange is very saturated. So I don't know how well that orange would show up on top of black. It might be like a situation like what I had to do with the pink here, where I had to apply a little bit of white to it to kind of amplify the layer. Okay, all right, so that shadowing is done there. Well, I think we're going to be wrapping this video up soon because we try to keep these videos to around an hour, and we've been at this for an hour so far. So let me finish up these purple stencil areas, and then I'll work on the blue off camera a little bit. But I want to finish up the purple here. So the last thing I'm going to show you guys for today's video is, so the contrast colors are, I actually really like to airbrush them because I feel that they create like a really nice kind of glaze with a layer of luminosity over the colors. But the thing is, you can't just airbrush them straight. You have to add a little bit of thinner. So I do just a couple drops of Vallejo Air thinner, and then maybe make it about like a 50-50 mix. So I'm using the Magos purple color right now. There we go. Now all I'm doing, I'm not spraying the very tip, I'm spraying kind of like the mid section of it. I don't know how well that's reading on camera, but it is adding an extra layer of subtlety to it.
Brian says, oh, we did it with the lead Belcher Citadel, and it did not turn out like yours.
Well, that's probably because of the paint consistency. Some paints are more opaque than others, and if you're trying to paint a light color on top of a dark color, most of the light colors are not thick or saturated at all. So what you would need to do is you would need to apply the stencil and paint a light color first. Like you'd have to mix a little bit of like pure white into it or spray like kind of a white primer base and then apply, without removing the stencil, then apply the orange over top of it. Or it could be done in inverse, where you make the bottom layer orange, the base layer orange, apply the stencil, and then spray the stencil black. Could have been done that way too. But that's color theory, because different paints have different saturation levels, and a lot of the Citadel paints that are on the lighter end of the spectrum don't really have any kind of saturation to them. They're just basically translucent. as soon as you thin them down, they become, you know, kind of clear. And when they're like that, if you're applying that to like a pure black surface, you're not going to get any contrast. That's what I had to do here, because the paint that I was using, the Warlord Purple, was a little bit translucent. So it was showing up, but I had to apply a layer of pure white first and then spray Warlord Purple over top of that in order to get the saturation level, to get that vivid color in the front like that. There we go. So that's pretty much where I'm at for this video for right now. What I'm going to be doing off camera is the exact same thing I just did in purple, but I'm going to be doing it in blues in the backs, in the back. So it's going to be purple diamonds in the back, blue diamonds, and purple in the front, blue in the back. And I'll be doing the same thing again, where I do like two layers up of blue and then use blue contrast color. I'm going to try to finish these models up in the next week or two and take photos of them to post them on the site so people could see an example like that. But for now, that's where I'm at. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I did today. These are one of my favorite armies. Just adding a little bit of extra here. Why not? There we go. I think it looks good. Alright guys, well thanks for watching, and we will see you next Thursday at 1 o'clock. And I'll probably be doing more Eldar stuff next week. We'll see. See where we're at. Alright, have a good one everyone.